Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodities Report, and I'm going to move through pretty quickly because I've got to go to a dental appointment. So we're on Bitcoin grayscale here, GBTC, and much the same as Bitcoin, we're looking for the A, the B, and the C wave here. So we could look at this as wave 1 to the upside and pulling back for wave 2 here. So with Bitcoin here, the same thing as occurring as well. We've got the trading levels here, the 65 at the medium level here. So we could pretty much put this as wave 1 and 2 into this particular space here. And this particular pattern is pretty much in line with the Nasdaq as well. However, we are lagging a little bit here on the count to the upside in relationship to the tech stocks. So I thought that's kind of interesting. We're kind of one small wave behind, but not a big deal. They're kind of all the same. So that's sort of where we are. So basically long trades on top of the 65. So if we have a look at this on my other charting program here, so on this one here, this is the Bitcoin, this is the low here, and we've got we could look at wave 1 here and wave 2 here. That's possible, or we could look at wave 1 here and 2 here. When I count this here, it does appear that it's better for this to be 1 and 2 here, but when we look at Ethereum and so on, at Ether, let me just bring it in here, we can see that Ether has already sort of dropped back quite sharply. It's got the personality of a wave 2, so we can pretty much bring the wave 2 into the 3000 area there and then pushing up higher at this point. So yeah, so that wave 4 is looking done and dusted. So if you don't have any positions in here, buying this new high here would be the next step. If you've got some positions here, then if you want to add, you can also add to that point. But if you're dollar cost averaging, we're going to just be adding it every $100 in the initial stages of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I might just have a look at Doge here as well, just to see where that's coming off at. Yeah, so that's, just bear with me here for a second. Yeah, so you can also buy a new high at that point there as well. Anyway, it's getting there. It's just retesting the 15 at that point, and should take this high out over here. We'll probably need to look at this as 3 and 4 here, but that's okay. We're getting that nice sort of impulse wave to the upside there on those. So okay, so we go across to the welcome to Trading Lounge and our little Bitcoin prediction game, so you can test your analysis. So if you go to Trading Lounge, you'll see Bitcoin prediction here, and it's on GMT time, so it finishes at the end of the month. And you can win, at this stage, you can win 1 million Satoshis, and we'll try to up that with some sponsorship as we go. We're just testing the first month here in May. When you go to this particular page, you'll see a Google login here. So you just use your Google login here. And once you have logged in, I've got this particular price here of 72,000. So I can edit that as much as I like up to the 20th of each month. After that, it locks in at that point. So you can change it, but the last 10 days will run free. So it's absolutely free to play. There's no catches. There's only one entry, and you'll use your Google login to do that, and there'll be a leaderboard here for that. So I hope you enjoy it, and it's just a little bit of fun. Alrighty. To the dollar bonds and yields, and with the US dollar here, basically in a nutshell, we are seeing the bonds push to the upside here. So if I can just maybe start here for a moment, I'll just go to the daily chart here for a moment. So we've been looking at this here as as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave up here somewhere. Now, as an A wave here, then an A, B, C, D, E here for the B wave, and then 5 waves down, which fit really quite nicely. So we've called the low in, but we don't really have an impulse wave up here just yet, and it's the same sort of story. We can call the low in, but you know, if we get the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then we could look at a low being in place at this point, and then we could be pushing up high, because if we got a low in the bonds here, then we'll have a top in the yields, and also the dollar as well here. So with the dollar here, this is the bullish count here for the dollar, where we have the A wave, the B wave 1 and 2, and because this is pulled back and overlapped here, we would also need to look at this as 1 and 2 here. But otherwise, we'll need to look at it as a corrective wave to the upside, and this would be a top in play here, and we're coming further to the downside here. So I may have this on this chart, on the 4-hour chart. No, that's this chart, so I'll need to go to this one. So we're just toying with it. If we're going to low in for the bonds, then we'll have a look at this being a wave B up here for the dollar, and down for 1 here, an A and a B and a C here, for 2 here for this market. Now, I don't know if that's true. Now, I can see that we can get a bit of an impulse wave down through here. When I go onto the intraday, there's a few sharp bits in here that make it a little bit sort of tricky. Of course, we could short this market under these current lows here at this point, but we just need to see if this is going to rally and drop at this point. I was looking at, I mean, this is because I'm in Australia. I'm looking, you know, at the Australian yields here, but this is kind of interesting because this moved down to the low here. I mean, obviously, you know, most of the market, you know, interest rates around the world follow the Feds to a point, you know, but they're not that far off. But here we can see that we've got, you know, nice sharp move down and a bit of a rally here back to supply levels at the 50% or whatever you want to call it. So we're just seeing here if we're going to drop it. If we drop too much further here, then we can look at the yields having, you know, another move down at that point. So we're not there just yet on this, and this can go for all of these here. It doesn't really matter if you're 10s or 5s or whatever. So basically, we're trying to figure out if we've got a turning point in the dollar. Now, we are seeing some strength in the euro dollar, the cable, and the Aussie, and so on. So we are seeing a turning point there, but I'll leave that for Malik to make decisions on at this point. So we want to move over to the gold and silver market, and yeah, with gold, I mean, pretty simple. We've just really been looking at 1 and 2 here. This is a daily chart here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and going up for wave 5. So we know wave 4s can get a bit sort of complicated and so on. And but it's doing its sort of thing here. I'll just have a look at GDX as well here. So I was looking at the worst case scenario for GDX as well. So it still can come down. It still can have 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. But at the same time, what I pointed out all of this week and last week, this first little move here is in 3 waves. Okay, so what it does mean, it means that this is actually bullish corrective, this particular corrective point here. Now, we know wave 4s can get complicated, so we could bring it out here. We could put wave 4 here, and we could look at this being, you know, there's a good case for this as well. We'll have a look at this as 1 and 2 here, not so big, but we'll just adjust that there back into we're below here, we're in here, minuet, that's about right. So we could view this as 1 and 2 in here. This has always been a bit of an option as well, but I didn't want to get people excited, you know, unnecessarily. So we can go long above that there on this market. I think we already have long trades in here, but yeah, so this is basically where we are at the moment. So this would be my bias at the moment, looking at this as 1 and 2 here. But taking a new high would put that in the right place at that point, and then we can look up for GDX anyway. We can look up higher here for this. Let me just have a look, now that we've looked at those two markets, let me just have a look at my other chart here, because I've been working through this in a bit of detail. We had this as wave A and B here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. Very much the same as Bitcoin actually. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then 1, 2, 3, bit of a spike here for 4 and down, finishing here. So basically, we could look at this here as the first wave 1 and 2 in here now, I reckon. It kind of doesn't matter, but I mean, what matters is that we can buy above this little high here now. Because that, if it was going to be bearish, that won't be breached. But let me just go in and check on that a bit. I mean, it can come down here further. There's no problems about that. Yeah, but as far as the crow flies today, we can go long above that second top here. Now, if it drops further, which I can see that it can do that. In fact, let's just so it can drop back into the 2-3 here, basically. But that's the long trade at this point. So that's something, isn't it? We're getting there. This might be 1 degree high, this one here, and that can also go here, and this can also view as not quite 5 ways, so I could probably squeeze it in, but yeah, I'll just leave it over here for the time being. But that's the long trade, okay? And while I'm here, we should just check on silver. So okay, so silver's got a slightly different pattern here, but once again, we've had this wave 4 in for a while. We're just really waiting for information, more information. Kind of reminds me what's going on with stocks at the moment. Or can I put that in already? It's a bit small, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well that's that then, isn't it? So what we can look for here then, it's a little bit small, I have to say. Anyway, we'll put that there. And we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically we're looking at some sort of, you know, ABC pattern here and then pushing up. So as far as this goes, we could go long above this top here for the time being. Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. The only other thing I could think of is this being 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2, you know, but I've got, you know, 1, 2, a third wave here, and so I think this is the right way. All you need to do is buy new highs for silver. So hi ho silver. Okay, so gold and silver ready to go at that point. So I want to look at have a look at base metals now. So I just want to have a look at high grade copper first on my little chart. So we're looking at this as wave 4 being in here. So I mean, I'm looking at much more of a bullish pattern here, because if we look at what our commodity analyst is doing, let me just check here. So Copper. Yeah, it's got a top in here, but he's not calling a top in until this is confirmed at this point. But this is his count here. I've just turned all of this into a bullish pattern, that's all. Where's China? Is China still bullish? Just bear with me a second. Here, I could use this one. I'll just change this here to indices, and I'll just have a look at, oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay, so we probably haven't seen this for a while, so I'll just go back here to the monthly chart. You know, because I've been bullish on China right from that low there. And this is the triangle pattern that's been occurring across here for years. So A, B, C, D, and E here. We've pulled all this apart down here, and we're calling a low in here, because if this pushes off here, then we'll take out that top there. So, you know, we know the good, the bad, and the ugly for everything that's happening in China. I get it, but, you know, the charts are telling me this is a triangle, this is the low, and we've been looking at impulse waves here. So I just want to go in, and this is a weekly chart. So you may remember we'll look at this as an ABC pattern here, and then on the 3000 here. So because we've seen some quite good volume come in here as well, I won't read that in the right way at this point. Doesn't really matter, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for a move up, a consolidation on this level, below it, above it, or whatever, and then making new highs. So, you know, I remember we called it a long trade in on top of this one here. So, but anyway, we don't trade this, so, but it doesn't really matter. The point being here is that this is really, you know, this was the line in the sand, right? Because if this was going to fail, this would have come up here, you know, chucked a wobbly here, and then dropped from that point and failed. But it's not the case. So, so we'll look at this to the upside. Should have a look at the Hang Seng and a few others as well. Malik's going to look at the top 25 top indices around the world and start a service up on that, but it'll just be, you know, a daily charts. So that will be interesting. So that's coming soon, and Sanjay will be starting the Indian market soon as well. So anyway, that's all quite positive there on that note. So that's going to be good for copper. You know, I know that China's got good supply in the market. I understand that. So anyway, we'll just keep chipping away at this area over here, and we'll see how that sort of plays out. But I wanted to actually have a look at the uranium side of things more so here, because yes, Sanmi had this other count here, which I thought was quite interesting with wave 3 here. I know wave 3 and 4 have got that as well, but the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E here. So I think that fits really quite well. I think he's done a fantastic job here, and it's obviously getting support on top of the major level here, the 30, so that's good. And we're moving into group 1, which would be 1, 2, and 3 here, so somewhere up at the old high, a bit of a pullback at that point. Now he's got this here as, which is also interesting, so he's got this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up for 5 here for uranium as a wave C, so a larger ABC pattern, where I've got it a little bit differently. So let me just find a chart here. And it's good having different counts because it makes you think twice. Do you know what I mean? I mean, as a client for Trading Lounge, you would think, Jesus, boys, get it sorted out, would you? But I think it's really good to have 2 different counts and then discuss those counts. You know, I think that's a good process on that. So just let me go here to uranium here. So if I just go back to my monthly chart here for a moment. this is what I've got here. I've got it going up here, much further going up here. So this is my monthly chart here, and all the volume's in the right place. We've got increasing volume on this first move here, decreasing volume here, increasing volume on this move here as well. So on the weekly chart here, this is how I've got it here, and so analyst has got this, and he's got this here as wave A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave A here, and wave B here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then going up for 5 at this top here. So, but this is where it changes for me. This is where I've got this, and I can be easily wrong, and it's not a competition and all those sorts of things. It's just, it's important that, that we all see things differently, and I don't know if this is true yet either. Do you know what I mean? We're just playing to win here for a moment. So I'm going to look at all of this as wave 1 to the upside here, and then wave 2 back. So I've still got this as a wave 3 and 4 in here, and then a wave 5 up here for 1 and 2, and then then 3, 4, 5 up here for this. So a much bigger move to the upside here. The uranium, the hydrogen, the lithium, they're all sort of juggling for position in the marketplace. I get it. But we'll see how this plays out here. But on the daily chart in here, we've been looking at this. I've got it slightly different. He's got like a triangle pattern in here, but I've got this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then building up probably 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and building further up here for this wave 1 up here, and then back for wave 2 here. So we'll see how this plays out up here for this as 5 and 1 at this point. So I could label this now as 1 and 2 in here, and 3, 4, 5, and we'll just put this here up 1 degree. That's good. Let me just check my other chart here for a moment. This one here, so we've been looking at it like that. So because I've had these other positions over here for a while, and 4 here, so I can just remove these here. I can see all of that. I was talking about Sammy's trade here, but it's good to have, like I said, it's just good to have different counts here. So we don't need that. I'm a messy chartist, and I just do things on the hop. So I won't need these for the time being. Don't need that now. Don't need that. Don't need that. Can leave those there. I'm going to leave this stop out because I want to try to get past all of this as well here to build in further over here. But that's where we're looking at the moment for this. Okay, so that's copper and uranium, and I want to have a look at, just have a quick look at lithium here. So I don't particularly like these ETFs because they've got too many other things. It's possible to have a low in place here, and this is 1 and 2 here, and building to the upside here. Let's just have a look at Piedmont as such. I can just go in here and go PLL here on the NASDAQ. Just wanted to see how it's lifting off here day by day here, just see if we can get some impulse wave off this possible low, but certainly unproven at this point. With this, just looking at this in terms of the A wave here, the B wave here, and then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5, and looking at this as a possible low here. But it's a long shot at this point, and the thing about the lithium sort of going out of fashion a little bit too, isn't it now, There's always so many changes in this field. But yeah, I just want to keep an eye on that, and that's that lithium side of things. And just check on iron ore, but I'm just going to see what our analyst has done here. Iron ore. I've also got a bullish pattern for this as well. So okay, it's got one more move here. So Sammy's got it like this here as 1 and 2 here. So an A and a B and a C here for this, for 2 and 3, 4, 5. So I've got this a little bit differently. I've got this here as wave 1 here with an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, and then this up for 1 and 2. It's not going to make any difference. We're tracking the same thing on the intraday basis here for the time being, so that's okay as well. So nothing really to do there. I don't need to look at gold and silver and all of that, and so we'll look at crude here for a moment because we're going to go into crude next. Okay, so he's got this as a WXY here pushing up. So I've got this pushing up as a wave 3, 4 and 5 to the upside there. The same as XOM and the oil fund as well. So this is the United States oil fund here. So this A, B and C here. So we know that we're coming into this low here. And it's probably the lows in here now with the first little move to the upside. And this would also reflect with this market here as well, the XOM mobile here. So we'll look at something like this here. I mean, this wave 3 normally comes in around the top here, so we can put that up there and so on, but something of this nature here. So this wave 4 here. So if we have a look at crude oil here, I've got this A, B and C down here. As I was talking yesterday, we've got the beginning, the middle and the end of this trend here. So we should see this push up at this point. So nothing really to do here at the moment with this. And then we come over to natural gas, and yeah, I'm in the right spot here. So I'm really sort of taken on board the spot market of a possible low being in place. So wave 3, 4 and 5. Now I know that NYMEX minis and futures here are different. But what I was sort of waiting for here to see this low put in place here, and this is the same as where's the other market, the United States gas fund market, this one here. This has got the same sort of, a little bit different because see this one here's got this wave 4 here, right, with this one that be this wave 4, but in this one here I've got this as the wave 4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just, and the NYMEX is different as well. They're all a little bit different. And I'm just going to see if we get a, if we have actually getting a low in place here for the spot market. So I'd still need a fair bit to go off here. I mean, what I mean by that is that we would need to look at this, at least this one here is 1 and 2, and this is a third wave here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 here. This is also 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we've still got, you know, if I'm drawing this out here, we've got this as wave 3 here. There'll be 4 and then there'll be 5 and then there'll be 4 and then there'll be 5. That's just to take it to, that's just to take it from this low here. But this is the actual next low here. Can we look at this as some sort of A, B and C here, but we don't make a new low here. So we might need to look at this being wave 1 here and also this one here as well. So it could be 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 building to the upside. So if that was going to be the case, I would call that in above this one here, above this 5 waves here. Anything above that, we would look at that being more bullish at that point. But these NYMEX ones are not playing the same sort of game. And so we'll keep an eye on the spot and the volume on these. I just want to have a quick check to see if there's a market that I've missed here. Copper, lithium. And we had a quick look at iron ore. So no, that's pretty much it for the commodities video. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.